Clap along. That's right, y'all. Don't you know? Woo. That's right. Attitude of gratitude. Gotta be happy. Bring up your happiness. You are tuned into a special broadcast of Heart2Heart Healthy Living. 12/30/2013. This is a live broadcast. First, I give thanks for the creative force of this universe, and I give thanks to my mother, Shirley Hardy, the elder in my life. Thank you for joining us and sharing with us how you are moving from disease care to conscious self-health care. Call in and share about the provider that is assisting you on this journey to total wellness. We wish to honor your walk from the old belief system of disease treatment for correcting your cellular malfunctions. It's not selfish to honor yourself, to love yourself, to put yourself first, take care of yourself, and make your happiness a priority. It's time to connect with happiness vibration. Being healthy starts with being happy. Those who are happy are much, much healthier. Greetings, greetings, greetings to you all in love and kindness. You are tuned into a live special broadcast of Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K on the airways of Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. You can email questions or comments to innerlightradio@yahoo.com. innerlightradio@yahoo.com. You can also Facebook Brother Jamal with any questions or comments. You can call in and share. That number is 310-928-7733. That's 310-928-7733. You must mute your phone. You are entering a live chat room, and I will invite you to join the conversation by your phone number or your Skype name. So welcome. Welcome to the Conscious Wellness Checkpoint. Now it's time to check the pulse of your thoughts, your consciousness, and your actions. My regular friends that join me in the chat room, Rachel Pope, Blessings Flow Empire from Waldorf, Maryland, Wanda Whitaker, Anchored in Spirit from Pacifica, California. They're all on vacation because this is a special broadcast today. And again, I am Dr. Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. My special guest joining me today is Dr. Alison Faith Parker Henderson. She is a chiropractor from Washington, D.C., now living in Ghana, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation about how she practiced here in the United States and how her practice is different in Ghana and just what's happening over there in Ghana compared to the United States. The truth of the matter is, life is consciousness. Family and community health is all about consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. We are assisting each other with information so that we can make conscious self-health care moves. When making a choice, mental observation view is essential for your success. Take a moment, take a deep breath. Let's be still. Sit back and take a deep, deep, deep breath. Feel this breath moving up your body from the top of your toes to the top of your head. Now let's all release together and come into the oneness breath of life. For love is all there is, and we are all one. And welcome aboard this universal love ride on our friendship train. God is a frequency of love, 528 megahertz of love and vibration. And that's what we will be sharing with you on this Kwanzaa 5th day. Yes, we're celebrating Kwanzaa. It's a special holiday. Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. So I say Habargani to you. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and start the conversation with our special guest, Dr. Alison Henderson. Thank you for tuning in. Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com, the number 4, CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation, 202-248-7749. Yes, greetings, and welcome to Heart2Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. This is a live special broadcast, and you can most definitely call in and share with us on this Monday. Our regular scheduled time is Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on innerlightradio.com. Call-in number again is 310-928-7733. You know, this has been a wonderful and a very exciting year. So much new information has been coming out, and people are definitely making a change in how they're caring for their health. They're joining the self-care movement. And we were so excited in Washington, D.C. This past Friday, December the 27th, we celebrated and we honored the life and legacy of Dr. Winston Kokai Kyrie Patterson. His special saying is to heal a people is to help heal the world. And we honor his life and his legacy, the African Holistic Health Association and the collective, ADS collective that he has founded and has been working to support the health of his community for over 40 years. And one of his colleagues and close friends who's now been living in Ghana for a while, she came home during the holidays and she surprised everyone at this event. Not only did she surprise everyone with her presence, but she surprised everyone with some powerful information that she was sharing about her experiences in Ghana. And so I'm very excited to welcome to the airways of Inner Light Radio and to Heart2Heart Healthy Living, Dr. Alison Henderson. She is a chiropractor, and I'm going to let her come in the conversation by telling us a little bit more about her life here in D.C., Washington, D.C. Dr. Henderson, welcome to Heart2Heart Healthy Living.
Hi, Dr. K. How are you?
I'm so wonderful. It was so good to see you, Dr. Henderson. I'm going to tell you something, though, before you start talking. I have to. You know, you have this glow. You always had a glow with you since I've met you about maybe 12 years ago. But you have this glow on your pictures that you put on Facebook now. But once you came home and I saw you in person, you have all this light all these
Oh,
bright colors around you. You have so much energy in you. I mean, I felt it, and I felt your passion. It was so good to see you in that vibration. You
it
are
was good
shining.
to see
You
you
make me want to
too.
go to Ghana. What's going
You
on?
should go. Oh, you should go. You should go. You know, I'll tell you the story later about how I got to Ghana, but
Mhm.
being in Ghana and being in Africa is like being in the arms of your mother, of your grandmother. And there's
Wow.
so much love there that you can't help but heal your soul over there. But
Mm.
shall I give you just a little history about
Yeah.
who
Give
and
us a
what I
little.
did?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm a Washingtonian. Grew up in D.C., went to Catholic schools, and went to Howard, and decided to be a chiropractor after I got injured training for the Olympics in 1988 in Taekwondo. And I went to chiropractic school in Atlanta, graduated and came back, opened a practice here right at DuPont Circle, and started in 1990, what was it, 1992, 93, 94. In 1994, I opened at DuPont Circle, and I had a practice there for over 10 years, and I moved on Capitol Hill, and I had a practice there up until 2012. In 2011, I was at work, and one of my friends called me. Well, he came in to see me, and he was a classmate, and he said that he wanted to know how my youngest daughter was, because I used to go down
Mm-hmm.
to the school and give talks, and he remembers being a student and me having this little girl named Jasmine with me. And he said, "How is little Jasmine?" And I said, "Little Jasmine is a student at a university, and she's almost 6 feet tall." So he, so he said, "Oh, so you're done raising children?" And I didn't even realize it. I said, "Yes, I guess I am." And he said, "Well, I have a job opening in Ghana. Would you like to come?" And I said, "Well, let me think about it." And he said, "Well, you have 2 weeks." And it took me 2 weeks. And at that point in my life, I was suffering from what they call empty nest syndrome. I was frustrated with the insurance companies here in the U.S., and I packed up some stuff and took off. And
You
I've been
sure
here.
did. I was
I
like, what
took off
happened to
quick.
Dr. Henderson? Where did she go?
I took off so quick, people were still making appointments.
I know. I
And they still
know.
making appointments. So
Appointments.
that's
Yes.
how I got to Ghana, and that's what I've
Oh.
been doing in there.
Oh.
In the
So you went to
past,
Ghana because you got an invitation to go to
I
Ghana.
got an invitation, so
And you really
it was like the ancestors said, "Come home."
come home and you
They
really
said,
needed
"Come
a
home."
change. You were frustrated
Yeah.
with the health care in the United
Oh
States, the
yes.
insurance.
Oh yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Okay.
I had been practicing in D.C. for 16 years. I just wanted to be a chiropractor. I didn't want to be anything but a person that
Hmm.
got people out of back pain. But it developed into something that I had no idea I was going to be dealing with. And I got caught up in what I call the health war of the United States of America, where everybody was getting sick and nobody was getting help. So
Right.
patients would come to me, and with back pain, I would do an X-ray, and boom, I'd see cancer. And I started seeing cancer so much that I almost became like the cancer doctor, because
Right.
people were coming to me because they weren't getting help in the establishment with modern medicine, radiation, and chemo wasn't helping, and they just wanted help. And because I have an herbology and a naturopathic emphasis in my practice, I was
Right.
just giving people advice on
Hmm.
nutrition and all of that. And I was working with Brother Bay and Nightwolf and and
Yes.
so many people in the community, Donald Smith, and you can name just about anybody that's passed through on the
Yes.
activist or the natural health tip that has passed away has come through me, and I've been
Hmm.
holding their hands, as well as so many people in the community that were dealing with cancer and other diseases. And I just got burned out. And
Right.
I got tired of fighting the medical establishment, and I just got really sad about what was happening.
Hmm.
And I had to step away.
Yeah. I know the feeling, and I know exactly what you're speaking of and saying that, and considering that people do believe that they have diseases and not cellular malfunctions. And definitely when you're in an alternative complementary healthcare industry and you really want to assist them and they're holding on to that belief, and then you're tied by an insurance company and just everything, you can't really get people to understand how great they are and that they can create cellular malfunctions and to correct them naturally and holistically. I know when I came into my practice, Dr. Henderson, one of the statements that I truly love was the statement of a chiropractor. the statement of a chiropractor really, to me, emphasizes how important it is to understand the natural approach to healthcare. And a lot of times, Dr. Henderson, people feel as though that everything can be corrected but a bone issue. And they don't realize that our bones get in trouble because of our nutrition. And so I love the fact that chiropractors are able to let people understand that, the way you eat and what you're thinking also can affect your bones, but your bones can mend and can heal. Is that correct?
That's right. I mean, one of our favorite things to say is upside down, that your body has the ability to heal itself naturally, above, down, and inside out. And that's what we believe. We go after the cause of the problem. We don't try to just soothe the symptoms. Now, someone comes in my office with back pain, I'll put ice and physiotherapy, and I'll adjust the bone and get it. But the physiotherapy and the ice is just to soothe the pain. The adjustment is going to correct the misalignment that's causing nerve interference in the body. And when you remove nerve interference in the body can right itself. The body can heal itself naturally with the right foods and exercise and reducing stress,
Yeah, that thought process is most crucial, because I'm a conscious healthcare practitioner. So you've been in Ghana. What part of Ghana are you in, Dr. Henderson?
Well, I was living in Kumasi, which is a central region, but I recently was relocated. My job transferred me to Accra. I've only been there a couple of weeks, and but I really, really love Kumasi. It's kind of 2 million people in the city, but it's very peaceful. They call it the Garden City.
The Garden City. And why did it get that name?
Oh, so many beautiful flowers there and plants, and it's just a sweet city. It's a sweet-smelling place. People are sweet, and the fruit is sweet, and, it was just an amazing experience. So
how was it making that transition over there with your practice and dealing with the community over there using chiropractors? And just tell me about your
So, my boss, he went over there 12 years ago, and he introduced chiropractic to Ghana. Mm-hmm. Now, they did have some Ghanaian practitioners that were doing some similar things, because in African culture, bone setting, and even in Native American culture, and even in Egyptian, in ancient cultures, bone setting is what they call it, was an ancient practice. If you go look at the hieroglyphics, you can see pictures of practitioners putting their hands on people's back to move bones, and if you read some of Imhotep's work and all of those, they deal with nerve interference and removing and adjusting the spinal column to make sure that the flow of energy is there, and also
so important.
The chakras being cleared. So there's a spiritual emphasis. Cairo is an Egyptian word that means hand, and practic means to practice. So to practice by using the hands to heal.
Ooh.
We move bones to remove nerve interference and to right the body, to help the body heal itself.
And removing those nerve interferences is so crucial to the foundation of health.
They don't realize that. Pinched nerves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize it. They pinched nerves, but people say, I have a pinched nerve. But it's more than that. That pinched nerve not only causes you pain going down your leg, but it can cause you constipation, urination problems, prostate problems, reproductive problems, and everything else.
That's a lot of people don't realize. They go with the symptoms and run to the medical industry, but they never really stop to think it maybe if their spine is out of alignment. Exactly. I know when, everyone that comes to me that I assist and work with, because I do feel like true integration is all of the alternative holistic practices. And so when someone comes to me and I do my assessment with Nest Provision system that I use, I can see what's going on in their whole body physically and the skeletal system. But even before then, the first thing I would do is recommend for someone to go see a chiropractor. It's important to see what's going on with your spine, with the discs in your spine, because as you said, we have our energy centers, and all that is related back to certain organs and tissues in the body. And so you should really, really first do that and see if they get that alignment straightened out. A lot of symptoms will alleviate themselves.
Exactly. Most definitely. So Ghanaians were familiar with that because of ancient times. They just called it something different, but we put it in a modern format. And they became very open to it almost immediately, because in their culture, they don't really like to take a lot of drugs, just like, most indigenous people are not used to drug therapy. So they would like the idea of having a pain and being able to go to the doctor and come out pain-free. So they can go back and work in the farms or whatever they need to do. So it was very welcome over the past 12 years. Dr. Marcus Manns was the doctor, and he brought a lot of other chiropractors over, and some of them ended up staying. So we
Wow.
have about maybe, I would say about 10 to 12 African American
Mm.
chiropractors in Ghana.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
that he started it, and now it's like on a roll, and everybody's getting
Oh,
familiar with it.
that's wonderful. That is really, truly good. Let me ask you this question right here. What are the differences in healthcare in Ghana as compared to the U.S.? You already mentioned about the drug therapy, which is wonderful, which we all
Uh-huh.
should embrace. Me as a
Well,
drugless practitioner, yes, you should embrace that family and community. Yeah, but tell
yeah.
me, what are some of the comparisons?
Well, Ghanaian people, they have a lot of high blood pressure and diabetes and obesity, just like Black Americans do and minorities do. Their diet is almost 80% starch now, where they eat a
What?
lot. Yeah, they eat a lot of, but it's more. It's not like our starch. They don't eat French
Mm,
fries a lot, but they eat cassava, plantain, and corn, and they pound it into this dough called fufu, and they eat a lot of white rice, and they eat white bread. So they're starting to get a lot. This generation here that's hitting 50, 60 is starting to get a lot of high blood pressure, diabetes, and strokes. But I have a patient that is 121 years old. I have another one that's 130-something years old. I have several that are over
what?
100. Those people didn't eat like that. Their
Uh-huh.
generation didn't. My 121-year-old patient can walk into my office, lay on the table, get his adjustment, stand up, and without a cane, go back to his driver, get in his car, go home. And he
Get
has a
go.
17-year-old son.
Wow.
So he's still
Easy.
it's,
So look, Tim here, Tim Morrow from the United States. He says growing old doesn't make you sick; it's being sick that make you grow old. And so
yeah.
that lets you know right there that he got a 17-year-old.
So he was very I asked him, I said, Baba, how did you have a son at 104?
Right.
He said he was just sitting down. He wasn't. he don't know, but he doesn't have high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol problems. And I asked him, what did he eat, and how did he think he lived that long? Well, he said his sister is 116, his wife is 99. And his other sister's 112. So he didn't think it was anything strange about him living that long.
Right.
He think, what I've noticed is that the culture has now been introduced with processed foods and foods from overseas. Chickens that now have hormones in them have just been introduced,
Oh.
and the eating of the white rice and the white bread is something that he didn't do. He ate the plantain and cassava combination, but he said he would eat it in the morning. He also walked 5 miles a day, and
Right.
he had a long list of herbs that he used. He used the indigenous herbs of Ghana for different things in his diet. So
Mm.
that's what they used to have, but what they have now is they're starting to get things that we have, and they
Mm.
have tendencies towards diabetes and high blood pressure. Cancer is not as prevalent as it is in the U.S., but I don't
Mm.
think cancer is anywhere as prevalent as it is in the U.S.
Right.
But they're
Right.
starting to get cancer. They're starting to get the cancers now, and
Mm.
it's going to be difficult for that country
Yeah.
to deal with it.
And once they really realize what cancer is, it's just like you said, it's a change in the diet. It's a flooding of the body,
Right.
and the body becoming stagnated, and the body
Mhm.
having too much excess fluid, excess sodium in it. Your organs take on that vibration of that filled with so much water that it cannot receive the nutrients, the energy, the flow of information, and process itself correctly. And when that organ becomes so full, they'll say, well, if it look like the flood is like 85% full, then they'll say it's cancer.
Right.
But you can correct that yourself by what?
By
Change your
cleansing.
diet, change your thought, change what you're doing, definitely changing your thinking. Definitely
Yep.
stop thinking and believing in disease names because they're cellular malfunctions that you are creating and that you
That's
can
right.
correct. We got to
Yep.
stop looking at healthcare as a disease care. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's
It
not.
starts from they believe it starts from the soul, the dysfunction of the soul itself. Well, they believe, that different spirits can come upon you that can cause dysfunction in your soul, and then that dysfunction cause malfunction in the body because the soul leads the body into that dysfunction.
That's
So
what consciousness is. Your consciousness is the lead guide of this physical body. This physical body cannot move without the consciousness of you telling it what to do. And that's why people really have to step up to self-care, to conscious self-health care. So I was just thinking the difference in healthcare challenges between Ghanaians and Black America. Do you think that it's related to the foods or consciousness or the environment or social? What do you see as the difference?
In Ghana, the problem is just they don't have the information. They're very unaware. They don't have any prevention programs set up yet. And the big cancer thing hasn't really hit them hard enough. They're starting to look at it. A lot of things I will hear on the radio is now they're fighting to not allow the GMO foods into the country. But it's already too late. They're already there, and they don't get the information, and they don't have access to the information. They say that only maybe 10 to 15% of Ghanaians are online. So you have the larger population of the country doesn't access the internet. There's a larger rate of illiteracy. A lot of people are poor, so they don't know, and they're just going by what's there. So if somebody puts potato chips in the store and sodas, they're like, oh, this is a new thing from the U.S. Let's try it. But over here we have the information,
and we still follow it.
The problem is it's too much stress, and it's so much stress here that even though people want to eat right, they're running around 2 and 3 jobs, and the only thing open is a drive-through at McDonald's. That's what they're going to do. They don't have the time to even plan out the meals, and so if you don't take a chance to step back and plan your life so that you don't fall into that rat race, then you can't really, getting healthy is really difficult.
That's the key that you said, because you have to step back, and it's about making a conscious choice.
And who can do that? A lot of people can't do that because they're on the rat race. They got to pay the bills. They got to get the kids through school. They have a constant motion, and they don't get a vacation or a chance to even sit down and say, hey, if I just go and get all these vegetables and fruits and put them together in little baggies and have the children, you know what I mean? Nobody gets a chance to do that unless you take off a break.
You have to sit back and really sit back and do that. You have to not let them keep. That's why it's called conscious self-health care, because the external world is going to try to convince you to keep moving towards the way that they're doing. But if you want to take a hold of your life, take hold of your life through responsibility. I know that word is scaring a lot of people, because when we grew up, our parents would say, well, you're the older one, you're the responsible one. And so nobody wants to be responsible now. They want to put it on everybody else. But if you are stressed because of your fast-paced life, the only thing that can change that is you slowing down.
Right. And this is the time to make changes. We're going into a new year. It's going to be a very stressful year in the U.S. and all over the world, unbelievably so. And maybe some people just need to, if you can just take a week off and sit down with your spouse or your partner or your family, if you're a single mother with your older children, and say, this is what we're going to change. We're no longer going to have sodas in the house. We're not going to eat the cookies and the chips. We're going to have carrot sticks. Let's grow a garden out back and have some tomatoes that we know are clean, and just start making that effort to buy a juicer and start juicing. I was just upstairs with my granddaughter showing them how we make ice cream in Ghana out of coconuts and avocado and cocoa powder.
Wow.
And they were like, wow. And when they tasted it, they were so happy because it was so delicious.
And look, it didn't taste no chemicals whatsoever.
No. Oh, no,
that's what they should realize. They're all natural. Look, three different ingredients, and made them some ice cream.
Oh, it's so wonderful. But, that's the difference also with Ghana right now, is that they have access to, like, if you're walking down the street, you can buy a coconut for 75 cents, stick a straw in it and keep walking. And you can buy a pineapple. The lady already cut it up and put it in a bag for you for 50 cents. And the fruit is over there, I'm telling you, it's straight out of heaven. When I came over here and ate a banana yesterday, I'm like, what? It tastes like toilet paper. What happened to the flavor? Their food, sometimes I'll bite into a pineapple and I almost want to cry because it is so delicious. All the fruits over there are like super, super delicious and super, super sweet, and they just, the only thing they don't have a lot of green leafy vegetables. They have lettuce, but the green leafy vegetables like kale and all that, it grows better in cooler weather. But I did find an African-American brother up in the hills that's been growing collard greens, and so he said he's going to send me some every week. So I'll be getting that. So even that. But the Ghanaian people don't include the heavy greens in their diet right now. They eat a little bit. They eat cocoyam leaf, but they have to cook it. You can't eat it raw. So I'm trying to teach them ways of getting the greens back and the herbs back into the diet.
Wow. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a station break, and we're going to come back, and I want you to think about the culture differences and comparisons, and maybe how Ghanaians actually see Black America. Okay? Let's take a station break. You are... Are you at your wit's end because there seems to be no solution to your healthcare problem? Is it okay for me to say to you that you can have peace of mind? Take back control of your health. Are you experiencing anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, any fictitious disease? Whatever your symptoms or diagnoses are, there is a conscious solution to transform the cause of your pain, not treat symptoms or mask it. No prescription medication, no over-the-counter drugs, no organs removed are required. Take back control of your health by the renewing of your mind. You can create wellness today. Contact Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, www.celllife.com. Yes. Yes. Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are tuned in to a live broadcast of Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. We normally come on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. on Interlight Radio. We are here having a very special conversation with Dr. Alison Henderson. She's a chiropractor in Washington, D.C. She's been living in Ghana for the past 2 years, and she is sharing her experience with us and how they care for themselves over there, how we care for ourselves over here, the comparisons, and putting it all together. It's really sad that the American takes their diet all over the world and brings such chaos to the human body. And then really, I can't put it on America. I have to really put it where it really lies at with the individual. We have to wake up and start taking responsibility. Definitely as African Americans, if we say we understand what that writing on every temple means, know thyself, heal thyself, then we should understand and take back our righteous power and be responsible for this being, as long as we want this being to be here on planet Earth and how we want it to be on planet Earth. And it has a lot to do with what you feed this material physical body, is how well it will perform for you here while you're here on planet Earth. So if you don't want to get caught up in the disease names, which are truly cellular malfunctions, then you will begin to look at how you're taking care of this body, this coat that you're moving around in. And Dr. Henderson is sharing with us some information that she has to help you do that. So before the break, I was asking you, Dr. Henderson, to think about sharing with us some of the culture differences, comparisons, and maybe how Ghanaians actually see Black American, how they saw you when you came over. I know there was other chiropractors there before you, but how did they receive you? Yeah, how did they receive you? Mm-hmm.
You know, the one thing about Ghana that I love the most is their concept of unity. Exactly. How they think about each other. They think of themselves in terms of we and us. They are not the me and I thinkers that Americans usually are. So, for instance, somebody brought me a gift, which they're always bringing me gifts at my office to show gratitude, which is one of their characteristics. They are very grateful. They brought me a gift, and I said, Baba, what is this for? And he said, that's for taking care of us. Now, he doesn't know the other patients in the clinic, but he's giving a gift in respect to his people from his heart. You know what I mean? So they think in terms of a unity. They are a unit. They are a family. When they look at, if you walk around Ghana, you will see grown men holding hands, and they're not gay. you'll see grown men with their arms around each other. If they have been drinking a couple of beers at the game, they will hug each other and fall all over each other and walk arm in arm to the car to help each other. They're not homosexual, but they don't have a problem with holding their brother's hand. There's nothing to them. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's not homosexuality. It's love. And
Right.
the children, you'll see 3 or 4 little boys walking down the street with their arms all around each other. I love that. And that's how they think. They think in terms of we are people, Ghanaian people. Now, so when they look at us, as African Americans, and it took me a long time to understand this. When you come over there, you are called an Abroni, which is a foreigner. It would mean that you are a white person, that you are a foreigner, that you're outside of Ghana. And then when I try and talk to my friends and all about, who I am to them, and they tell me to me, I'm not Ghanaian. I say I'm Ghanaian now. I'll tell them I'll speak in their language. Like me, I just say Mabagana. I can speak a little language, and I can eat fufu, and I can do a Zonto dance. I say, am I Ghanaian? They're like, you will never be a Ghanaian. You will never be an African. I said, but, and I would get mad, and I would just scream at them. I made songs about it, poetry, everything. And I came to an understanding from the people that I live in my house. My brother, Coach, one time we were sitting outside. He was drinking some ampeteshi, which is a strong drink in Ghana. And so he was like, I showed him a picture of my father, who's very, very, very light-skinned. He's like, oh, your father's a white man. I'm like, no, my father's black. Don't say that. On his birth certificate it says black. He said, your father is white, so you're white. I said, I'm not, Coach Joe, I'm black. And we argued, and I got mad, and I even cried. I was about to, they don't like violence, but I was about to punch him in his eye. And they taught me they don't think violence. But he said, listen, come here. I love you. You're my sister. But you're still a white girl. So for them, they don't want to talk about slavery. To them, and Ghanaians don't have a word for goodbye. And to them, in the Ashanti culture, they don't live in the past. They actually live in the now. They don't want to talk about what happened. It's too painful for them. I tried to show some people some movies like I'm a Star and all that. They couldn't even watch the whole movie. They'd get up and walk away, cry and walk away. I don't want to see it. They don't want to talk about it. They're not ready to know what happened to us. And then because we came across the ocean so long ago, some even ask us why we didn't come back home. Like we had a way to get back home, and I have to say, why didn't you come get us? Why did you come out? Why we didn't come back home? But now they see us as we are lucky that we left because so many of them are poor. Now we're lucky. They think that we're rich, that we have access to the internet and TVs and laptops and computers and nice cars and all of this. So we're lucky that we got snatched away from Africa because now we are like white people. We have money, and I have to tell them, hey, black people got bills is all they have. We don't have all that money like you think we do. We got credit cards. We have, but we don't. So that's the difference in a lot of things in Ghana. They're very generous, and they don't curse at each other like we do. They don't have the violent concepts. They don't have slavery in their blood. They don't have that DNA, that severe self-hatred. They love themselves in many ways. Now, they do have cultural, from being colonized, they do have some concepts that maybe they feel inferior to white people because of colonization from Britain. But a black man adores his black sister to death over there, and they will love their children. Black men hardly ever leave their children in Ghana. They are very proud. If there's a divorce, the man will usually say, you can leave, but you're not taking my children. As is the opposite here. And a big, black, beautiful woman in Ghana is beautiful to a black brother over there. They love it. They don't even see why she should lose weight. The bigger and the blacker, the better. In many instances, I've seen men with large, or I won't say obese, but large bone, dark-skinned women that if she came over here, nobody probably would ask her for a date. Over there, she's cherished and loved. So I would like to say to sisters, if you can't find a man to love you because they say you are too dark or too big, get on a plane and go to Ghana. You will have 3 or 4 marriage proposals because they love the blackness in themselves.
Wow.
And that was the first time I've seen that. Now, they do have problems with skin lightening. They do have problems with they wearing weaves in their hair and all of that. But deep down inside, and from the history of who they are, they know who they are as a people. They get a little confused about what is beautiful. About 90% of the women over there wear hair weaves or braids or some kind of extension in their hair, yes.
Yeah.
And that's across Africa. And that we need to fix. And that
Yeah.
they're catching on from us because
Mm-hmm.
now black women over here were, or I guess they are still going into natural hair, and they see the movie stars with it, and they like, oh, that looks nice. Let me try it. So some of the younger girls are starting to let their hair out. So
Mm-hmm.
that revolution is going to have to be from black American women telling African women, it's okay, boo, you can wear your hair out. You can wear it nappy. Nappy is okay. That's
Nappy
going
is
to have to
okay.
come from us. Nappy is
That's
okay.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's
it
real
is.
interesting. That's
It
real
is.
interesting. But what I really like about what you just said is, and I'm always on the conscious, on the happy health tip and want to hold on to that and not see everything else is around it. I like the way the fact that they honor their practitioners in their community. And they always showing gratitude and appreciation in order for you to continue on and feel that warmth in what you're doing. And we do miss that here in the United States because a lot of people don't have a lot of gratitude and support for the alternative practitioners in the community.
They take us for granted.
Yada, 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 yada. But I'm going to stay here right here in this community, though. We're going to help shift that. We're going to definitely help shift that thought there. And I like the idea of living in the now. It's okay. We have to understand and know about all of history and all what we have gone through and where everything is. But what is happening now is that you create in the now experience of now. And so with that now experience, you can create something different. Knowing what you know, knowing what has occurred, knowing who you are now able in this now moment, like I would say, let go of the thought of a disease and know that you are creating cellular malfunctions that you can adjust and you can change for yourself right here in this now moment. So again, you all listening to Heart2Heart Healthy Living. You can call in if you're out there listening live today to 310-928-7733. Before I continue the conversation, we do have a caller online, 7162. Do you have a question or comment?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you for calling in to Heart2Heart Healthy Living. Would you like to give your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is EA. I'm calling from Maryland. And a wonderful conversation. Beautiful.
Do you have a question
topic,
or?
Beautiful. And thank you.
Thank you.
So many questions that I have. I'm trying to select between some of the things that I've written down. And
Okay.
I'll try and keep it to the point. But a couple things that were raised.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Henderson, you mentioned your patient who was, over 100 and something years old, and some of the things that he takes into his body to maintain that age. You mentioned he takes a bunch of natural herbs. I was wondering if you could mention, let me just lay out some of the questions that have come to mind, and you can pick and choose what you'd like to respond to. One is the natural herbs there that are indigenous that this patient of yours might have been taking, if you can name any of those. Also, you mentioned the fruit tastes heavenly. If you could talk about some of the indigenous fruits that might be different from ours that you've sampled and tasted. Also, and you did go into quite a bit of detail on some of the differences of the belief systems and the observations on the differences between the cultures. Could you speak briefly about maybe the differences in the kinds of stresses that Ghanaians experience as opposed to your American experience, as well as maybe some of the biggest opportunities for Americans who may choose to migrate to a country like Ghana? So fruit, herbs, differences in the stresses, and then one last thought I'll throw out there. If you could talk about some of the differences that you maybe haven't touched on in belief systems, whether it's religious or otherwise, and how those might impact on some of the differences you see in the culture.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's a lot. Now I'm working on. You seem like you need a copy of my book.
You got a book, Dr. Henderson? Did you say a book?
I'm working on it. Wonderful. I already paid Dick Gregory to do my foreword, so I told him don't go nowhere till I get that. So yes, I'm logging all of the herbs, and the fruits are basically most of the same fruits as the Caribbean. They have plantain, banana, pineapple, They have oranges, but they're green. They have limes and lemon. They have their avocados are just bigger and sweeter than ours. The papaya are sweeter than ours, and the mangoes are huge and they're so good. And so the fruits they have soursop, which is in soursop is just there, and passion fruit, and those two fruits make wonderful tinglings in my smoothie. and they have natural nutmeg, like the nut itself, and you can grind it, and that's very strong. And cocoa powder, CACAO, not cocoa, but cocoa is one of their biggest industries, and raw cocoa powder has a lot of value. It can help you lose weight. It lowers your blood pressure. It's good for moods and depression. So I always throw a tablespoon of that in my smoothie. And they have black seeds. So they have such a wide range. Now the herbs, I'll tell you one herb. The rest is going to have to be in my book because there's so many. The herb that the 121-year-old man uses is, he said he takes cotton leaf, the leaf off the cotton plant, and he boils it, and he sticks his handkerchief in it, and he takes the water from the tea, and he washes his eyes with it. And he also drinks cotton leaf tea because he can look at his cell phone without glasses and read the little small numbers and press, because we got one of them old cell phones, and presses those small buttons. And I'm like, Nana, how are you doing that? I have to wear glasses, 2.5 from the dollar store to see these numbers on my phone. You looking at it, your 121-year-old eyes, you don't need no glasses. So he told me about the cotton leaf. And there's a lot of indigenous herbs to Ghana that I will have to catalog them, because the names will have to be translated so that, and some of them are similar to ours, but you know, as far as he also mentions like the religious beliefs and the behavior, and also Black Americans come into, or any Americans coming into Ghana to prosper and live. There's about 5,000 known Black Americans in Ghana, living very well. I meet people every day. They came over and still got their return ticket, didn't even come back. And that's how it's like being in paradise over there. As far as the stress level, what we have to deal with over here, and they have to deal with, there's no racism to deal with in Ghana. I had one instance of racism where a white man from Australia came into my office, and I happened to be sitting at the front desk writing an excuse letter for a patient. And he came and he said, "Where's the doctor?" My friend told me there's a good chiropractor in here. And I said, "I'm the doctor." And he started laughing. And I didn't say anything, so the secretary came and sat in her chair, and I got up and walked away. And he's like, she told him that's the doctor. He said, and so he asked to speak to me, and he said, "Well, what are you doing over here? Are you hiding out?" And I'm like, "What you doing over here? You hiding out?" Because, I mean, and that was such a racist comment. And he left. And he didn't see me. So that was the only instance. But there's no racism. There's no police brutality. There's no cameras. There's no IRS and CIA and NSA. And there's none of those organizations looking after you to get you. The worst thing that ever happened to me with the police is they pulled me over because I made a U-turn or something like that. And then when they found out I was from America, they excused me, and one guy stopped me because I didn't have my seatbelt on. He said, and all he said was, "You're too beautiful not to wear a seatbelt. I don't want anything to happen to you, so you put your seatbelt on." They're very friendly, and the policemen are nothing to be afraid of. There's no fear like that, but what they do suffer from is poverty. They don't have money, but they are very proud people, and they could be hungry. They won't ask you. They're not the begging type. They're not looking for a green card marriage, most of them. I know there's some scams going on, but generally Ghanaian people are happy where they are. They just need opportunity to make money. So anybody that could come over to Ghana to help with the technology, the computer world, to help people get laptops to get online, to help schools to get online, to upgrade their education of the people, so people that could come and help people to highlight their farming and upgrade the way they farm and upgrade. That's all they need. They need assistance with how we do things. If somebody knows how to build houses better than the way they build houses, to build roads better than those things, they're lacking in, but they are so willing to learn. They just need hands-on help of just day-to-day living activities. They still carry things on their head. They still carry the babies on their back. They still pound fufu with a stick for 40 minutes to eat it. And I'm like, why don't you just get a food processor, boo?
It's
so
something
those
in
are
that.
some of these things. Yeah. But they don't, I was driving wild one day. I cut somebody off, and the guy was screaming out the window at me. So I thought he was cursing at me, and I cursed back. So I asked the guy in the car, what did he say to me? He said, "You're not driving safe."
Oh.
But he said, the African language is so heavy.
But you just thought.
But they don't. And, we have built into our language, and I learned this, that we have built into our language, we have violence. And we're just playing. It's like, I'm going to punch you in your face, or I'm going to kick your, we have that built, and we could be playing. When I say those things to them, they look at me like I hurt their feelings, like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? I'm sorry. I was just playing. They don't understand that. They don't play like that. They don't attack each other with words the way we do. And
that is powerful.
But I mean, they have arguments. Like I saw two women, and this is where we get the head shaking from, Karen. You know how black women get angry and we have to shake our head? Well, women in the market have baskets on their head. And I saw two women get in an argument. And how they had to keep the basket on their head was to rock their head back and forth while they were fussing at each other. So that's what we get. I see where we get a lot of things like blasting music. Blasting music is a way of life in Ghana. You are going to hear some blasting music, and calling the police will not help you because it's not against the law.
Wow.
So those are some. Now, they're strongly Christian, and 60% Christian, 30% Muslim, and they're very, very church-going people. They still do have the indigenous Akan religion in place, but it's kind of underground in the backwoods. And I've been studying that as well. So those are their religious affiliations. But they're basically a culture of peace. They don't like war. They're a culture of love. They don't hate. And it's just a very warm and friendly place to be. Out of all the African countries I've been to, I felt at home in Ghana.
Yeah, most people look at me and they always say, "I'm from Ghana. You from Ghana? You from Ghana? You got to be."
You look like you do. You look like if you go over there.
Do I hear this? That's all.
But Karen, if you go over there, no matter how you look to them, you are still going to be a white girl. Okay.
I got you.
Unless you can prove your father was a Ghanaian, you are not Ghanaian.
I'm not Ghanaian, no matter how much I look like that, huh?
You're going to still be in a brony to them, believe me.
I know, we're coming up on an hour. This has been such a fantastic interview. When you have your book come out, I got to have you come back, but I got two questions that I need you to talk about. One came in, and this question is, can she talk more about the Ghanaian pineapple? Is there anything else you can add to that? And then I got one other question I need you to answer.
Well, the pineapple it's no different than ours. It's just very sweet. And they use the pineapple shavings along with lemongrass. Mm-hmm. They take the outside part of the pineapple with lemongrass and cloves, I think, and they boil it. No, hibiscus. They make what's the Jamaican drink? The red drink that they make with hibiscus. They call it something else, but sorrel.
Like sorrel, something like
sorrel. So they take the hibiscus leaf, the pineapple shaving, and lemongrass, and they boil it in a pot, and that's to keep malaria away. It's good for any colds and flus and stuff like that. So that's one of the herbal remedies that the barber taught me about.
Wow. So this whole interview with you got started because I came into the community about 15 years ago, and when I came into the community, I talked a lot about vegetarians letting go of soy, and I got such a backlash from so many people when I was talking about this, but it's now come full circle, and Barbara Dick Gregory made a statement that Brother Kepler's Raw Food Bar in D.C. put out on Facebook. And when you made your statement there at Dr. Khadijah Patterson's celebration, that's what started this whole conversation off, because I was like, thank you, Dr. Henderson. Thank you so much for saying that. And so what you said is in relationship to this question that Kepler put out on Facebook that Dick Gregory said. He said, what's the number one cancer group in America? And he said vegetarians. And then he says, why? Because you are not supposed to eat soy. Right. Dick Gregory. And so he put this out, and I'm telling you, this post got so many comments to it. And I put this comment out there, and I said, in the illusion of the reality, I can see what Bob and Dick Gregory is talking about. Most vegetarians that eat bad soy products, the fake meat, for a replacement for meat, and eat it every day, 3 times a day, like meat, and it causes all kinds of cellular malfunctions in the body, the same as meat. Its effect is worse than meat. Vegetarian kids that grow up on this fake food really create cellular malfunctions in them. Most vegetarians that have consumed soy products for years, when they come to me for a colon cleansing session, they all have this white paste that comes out of them. One client ate so much soy and he had these big bumps all over his body filled with this white thick paste that the medical doctors couldn't tell him what it was. And when I told him that it came from the soy, he ate so much of that fake out lunch meat all his life that he'd been eating it for over 30 years. He had all this pus in his body. Most African vegetarians in America eat a lot of bad soy and are now being diagnosed with the big lie of cancer anywhere in their body. And it's all because they're refusing to let go of soy because they don't want to eat meat. But you came into that meeting, you talked to our community, your friends, your colleagues, and everybody, and you stood on that mic, Dr. Henderson, you said, I just got to say one thing to y'all. Stop eating the bad soy. I was like, oh, my God, thank you.
Yeah, there's no soy. You have to eat your DNA of your ancestors. So most African Americans are Native American and African with a little bit of white like me. But Native American people didn't eat soy, and truth be told, white people, Caucasian people really didn't have it in Europe that much. It's an Asian food. So unless you have Chinese, you really don't need to be eating even the real soy. There's no soy in Africa. And we can't digest it. And the soy in this country is GMO, and it's fake, and it's processed with a whole bunch of crap. So if you eat soy milk and all that stuff, it's not safe for our children. And it messes with your hormones. It has estrogen syndrome in it that blocks your own estrogen, so it can help with the breast cancer and the prostate cancer processes that are going on.
Creating more and more cellular malfunction in the body, and they get to lump you into a name of a disease based on that alone. So truly, we have to really consider vegetarians out there that just can't step away from that soy, and you're giving it to our babies before they even be beginning to process their own self-care mechanisms in their bodies, and you're shutting them down. Letting them eat that fake out meat, and we have got to make this shift. So we have to create a balance. Ed, I see you still on the line. Did you want to chime back in before we have to close out the show to Dr. Henderson with what she answered for you? Ed, are you still with us? I see you still there, 7162.
Yes, I'm here.
I know, Dr.
Thank you for the wonderful early answers. You mentioned soy, but in this country, you can't mention soy without mentioning cottonseed, corn, canola, because all of those are 90+% genetically modified in this country.
High fructose corn syrup.
Exactly.
All of that crap.
Yeah, and you also encourage everybody. You said at the celebration that even if you have to get a bottle, open it up and put some dirt in it to start doing what? Growing your own.
Build your own. Grow your own stuff, man, because you don't know. But I would like to say to anybody that's listening, if you need a break from, because I think I did a prayer one night. I just need to get out of this country for a minute. When you do that and you eat natural food and that stress of life that you keep denying is taken off of you, your body will just change and amorphize into the being that you should be. And that glow that people see in me is health, that a natural state of health and a natural state of mind where day by day I'm not afraid that I'm going to get pulled over and beat up by a policeman or a white person that's going to call me a nigger, or somebody is going to do something to me, because there's very little crime there. And I just feel safe in the arms of the mother, and I can relax for once in my life at 53 years old and finally know what a stress-free life feels like.
It looks it too. I'm telling you, it is coming through on your photos, and to see you in person, to see that, I have now absorbed that energy. It's like I've gone there, because that's what I did. When I hugged you, I tried to absorb all that inside of me. I tried, because I can't say I live a stressed life, because I'm very conscious of my life, and I choose not to live a stressed life. I choose not to have modern society dictate to me how I should live, how I should be. So I'm definitely off the cuff. I'm not a part of the norm, and neither is my practice and what I encourage people to do. And Dr. Henderson, I want to thank you so very, 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 very much. I'm looking forward. So have you got a title for your new book yet?
No. I do, but I'm not going to put it out
yet. Well, mine is coming out and probably should be released definitely before Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day, which is April 30th every year. So my new book is called As I just said, emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery, the quantum effect. We're moving from disease care to conscious self-health care. So it's a healthcare book. I have insights in that book from Light Energy John Christopher. He's a non-entity light being that shares some information with me to share with our community of the human race on how to better be. And so we are so excited for the release of that book during this 2014 Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day, where we actually honor individuals that have taken back control of their health care, stepped away from pharmaceuticals, know that they are not diseased people, know that they create cellular malfunctions, they're in charge of this physical body here, and they're just taking responsibility for it. So we honor you for moving forward. And so that's what we do. And we're thankful. Somebody say, okay, where's her photos? I want to see a stress-free sister. What's her website?
I don't have a website. I have an email address, and that's about in the Facebook page right now. Because
well, you like me on Facebook, and you'll get to see some of her stuff. You'll get to see what she looks like. You can like me on Facebook, and you get to see her information. And wow, this time has gone by so fast. Dr. Henderson, before we leave out and close out, is there anything that you would like to share with your community in Washington, D.C.? And when are you coming back for good?
I'm not telling when I'm coming back for good, but I am coming back.
Okay.
I have my 3-year-old granddaughter here, so I definitely need to come back and help raise this princess. But, I just want to say that there is love for black people on this planet, and we don't have to live under the foot of racism and poverty and bad foods and all this. If you can find a way to get yourself a ticket to come to Africa, just even if it's for a visit, to see that there's another world outside of this country where you can actually live in peace and harmony with nature, then do so. And if you need to contact me to find out more information about how you can do that, then do that as well.
How can they contact you?
My email is aahdiva@yahoo.com. My 3-year-old thinks she's on the radio.
That's all right. We love the babies. They got a lot to say. She's telling us a whole lot back there in the background. Hi, sweetie. How you doing? Welcome to Heart2Heart Healthy Living. We love you.
Yeah, she is adorable. But aahd as in dog, IVA@yahoo.com. It's all answer the phone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henderson, for joining us.
And I'll be in contact with you to let you know what my future plans are for coming back to the U.S. of A.
Yes. Okay. We look forward to having you back. Thank you so much for sharing with us and the information. And people, get your passports now, because they're going to tie in debt to passports, and you may not be able to get one if you owe anybody in the United States. So go get that passport now. Is that correct, Dr. Henderson?
I believe so. Could be like that.
Be like that.
Be like that. It could be like that. You know, if you owe child support, you can't get one. So
child support, you can't get one. They tying it all into debt. So get what you need to do now so you can take that trip. Thank you so very much. You are tuned into Heart2Heart Healthy Living. This was a special broadcast. Tune in tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. We are going to have a rebroadcast show with David Hurt, the Wizard. He is a master astrologer and minister at the Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment. It's a rebroadcast show where we talked about coming out of the darkness, stepping into the light, and being the divine being that you are, and get ready for a better year for your life from now on planet Earth in 2014. Take back control of your health care now. It's time to emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery. Thank you for tuning in to Heart2Heart Healthy Living. We'll be back live the second Tuesday in January 2014. Peace and blessings. Next up, get on.
Shake a hand. Well, talking about the friendship train. Get on board and shake a hand, make a friend. People listen to us now. Harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. Oh, yes, it is. I said harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. People, we can't wait, 'cause another day might be too late.
Greetings, family. We had a great time today on Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. Thank you so much for tuning in, getting happy, getting healthier. So we invite you to tune in next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Inner Life Radio, the healing frequency. It is time to get happy, to be healthy, and live the life that you want to live. Tune in again next week, Heart to Heart Healthy Living with Dr. K. And we also invite you to tune into the Saging Baby Boomer Show with Mama Ayo Handy Kendi. That's every Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on InnerLightRadio.com, the healing frequency. It's all about love, family, and community. Love is all there is, and we are one.